Hi, I'm Elanor Bell and I'm a Senior Research Scientist at the Australian Antarctic Division. If I told you that viruses, bacteria, seahorses and whales were very similar, I'd forgive you for thinking I'm really crazy. But bear with me. Of course, biologically speaking, viruses, bacteria, seahorses and whales are very different. For one thing, whales are enormous. They're much bigger than viruses. But from my perspective, they're very similar because they are my career in science so far. Let me explain. I went from studying tiny viruses, bacteria and algae in Antarctica for my PhD to a postdoctoral position studying seahorses in the tropics, and now to working on whales in the Southern Ocean. And I want to tell you what I've learned along the way and give you my top tips for a career in science. When I was an undergraduate studying environmental biology in the UK, I dreamed about studying trees in the Daintree by daytime, at night stargazing, and then in my spare time snorkeling on coral reefs. It sounds really good, doesn't it? I also vividly remember doing a course about polar ecology and really enjoying it. But when we watched some episodes of the BBC's Life in the Freezer for homework, I remember thinking, I am never, ever working in Antarctica. But would you believe it? That's exactly where I ended up. Almost immediately after graduating, I found myself in Antarctica, just 22 years old, studying tiny plants in the Antarctic, in lakes and the marine environment. 26 years on, I am still working in Antarctica. So did I go wrong? Did I lose my way? No, I don't think I did. I took some chances. I seized opportunities that were presented to me, opportunities that I would never get again. And that's one of the key lessons I've learned. You've got to take opportunities because you may never get them again. It's also important to view every opportunity and every chance you get as a chance to learn new skills, however mundane, however challenging, however difficult that opportunity might be at the time. My experience in Antarctica gave me a whole host of transferable skills that I've been able to apply to all aspects of my scientific career. For example, fieldwork, lab work, writing scientific papers, handling data, analysing data. Another important thing is communicating with people from all walks of life and managing my own projects and even my own budgets. And if there's one thing that anyone who's worked in Antarctica will tell you, it's about the A factor. That means if it can break, it will break, often when you just need it, and likely in the middle of a blizzard. I learnt the most when I was trying to troubleshoot or fix gear in really cold winds, in severe conditions, and I had to sort it out. I just had to fix it. And that has taught me so much about dealing with challenging conditions and challenging situations, albeit not so cold, as I've gone through my scientific career. It's also important to let your passion take you anywhere, and I mean anywhere. Some of my most successful colleagues are those that have taken a particular skill or technique or method and they've applied it to lots of different things. For example, genetics, stable isotope analysis, statistics have been applied to Antarctic microbes and then to hippos in Africa and onto outer space. And in some ways I'm no different. I've used my skills and passions to allow me to move comfortably from a PhD studying tiny things in Antarctica to studying seahorses in the tropics to now studying whales in the Southern Ocean. But of course, not every chance you take will turn out well. There'll be times when you're not happy and you're not inspired, so you have to know when to walk away. And don't be afraid to do that. Often it's knowing what you don't want to do that's more important than knowing what you do want to do. And when it comes to making difficult career choices like that, about when to take a chance or when to walk away, it's really important to find a mentor. Everybody needs someone to talk about their career and their choices with. And it may be that throughout your scientific career you have a number of mentors with whom you talk about different challenges and different opportunities. And hopefully, as you get older, you'll be able to pay it back. You'll be able to mentor other people as they embark upon their scientific careers. The importance of other people doesn't stop with mentors. I cannot stress strongly enough the importance of being willing to work as part of a team and being willing to collaborate. One of the most exciting and enjoyable parts of my current role is working with scientists from all over the world in a huge collaborative network. Together, our collective brain power helps us to tackle far bigger problems than we would be able to alone. We may also be able to share resources that aren't available to us as individuals or to a particular institution. And those collaborative networks, those people, are often your inspiration and your support network as well. What I've also learned is it's really important to believe in yourself and believe that you can make a difference with your science. The human race is facing some enormous challenges at the moment. Climate change for one, searching for a vaccine for coronavirus, to name just two. Of course, not all of us are going to win Nobel Prizes for our scientific endeavours, but every tiny piece of science we do slots another small piece into a ginormous and often very complex jigsaw puzzle. Your piece of that jigsaw puzzle will enable eventually that whole picture to be revealed. Your piece will also allow other people to suddenly find places that they can slot their pieces of information too. Finally, whatever seemingly unconnected chances and opportunities you take up on the way, believe that you will get there in the end, or somewhere equally as interesting. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be working with whales in Antarctica when I grew up. But I did know that I loved the oceans. I did know I was passionate about conservation, and I did know I wanted to help threatened species. So in that sense, I'm right where I want to be. I'm working with magnificent creatures in an absolutely extraordinary place with amazing people from all around the world. And I'm using my science to influence the decisions that governments make about the conservation and management of those whales.
That's magnificent.
And along the way, I got to play with viruses, bacteria, seahorses as well, and I had lots of fun.